Hi, first grade parents. I've missed you and your kids very much, and I just wanted to start by saying a huge thank you to all of you for all of the positivity and great emails and all of the work that's been coming in from your kids. It really warms my heart that you are keeping up with their education at home. I know it's super difficult. I'm a mom, I've got my own children, and trying to stay on top of their schoolwork as well as working from home has been quite challenging. So if you're in the same boat, I understand completely. We are starting our soft launch of online learning starting tomorrow morning. Soft launch means that we are not expecting everything to go smoothly. We know that this is something new to all of us. So I set up this website to try to kind of keep everything in one place so that your email inbox is not completely inundated with so many emails that you have to scroll through and find them. So when you go to Parsley's website, you're going to go to faculty and staff, and then you'll open up first grade and find my picture. Underneath, you'll see my name. Click on that, and it'll bring you to my first class or first grade website. Across the top here, you're going to notice all of the bookmarks with tabs. So the things that you really want to be focusing on right now is the lesson plans and the newsletter. So first I'll pull up the newsletter. This is our digital version. It's a little bit different than the one that's been coming home every week. This newsletter is just going to kind of go over things with you for the online learning. So if you open it up, it will give you some ideas of things that we're going to be doing. It's going to give you a calendar. I'll try to keep that updated with birthdays. It'll also tell you any due dates of things. We're going to try to stay in touch with using, Seesaw, Zoom meetings, and it's a pretty simple newsletter. If you have time or feel like the kids are missing out on some music and art and PE and library and guidance lessons, we also put some links at the bottom across so that they can also go in and do a music lesson or an art lesson. All of our teachers are keeping up their web pages, so this is another thing that you can be doing with your kids. So let me get out of here and go back to my website. Here is the lesson plan link. We're going to be on week 3, and Monday and Tuesday of this week, we wanted you to just finish catching up. We know that we gave you a lot of work to do, and it was a lot of new learning, trying to get on all those different websites and figure everything out. So anything that your children have done for now can be finished up. And if you didn't have things to work on, then hopefully you got onto Prodigy and did some math or did some reading on RAS. You can also do some forward practice or rocket math. So starting tomorrow, pull up this website and take a look. We try to do day by day. So tomorrow morning, what I would do is open this up and start with math. That's what we normally do in the morning. Anytime you see a blue sentence with an underline, you can actually click on it and bring up a video. This is a great video that Ms. Applewhite made for the students to watch about 2D shapes.
Hi, first grade. It's Ms. Applewhite here, and today we are going to do some math learning.
So I'm going to turn that off for you now. But then there's also a shapes song, and then it's going to give you work for your students to do. So tomorrow we're asking that you create a tree map in the math journal. This came home with the extra materials that you picked up from school. There is a sample that we have included so that you don't have to try to make it up on your own. We like to include models for the children. It says to create a tree map in your math journal and draw and label examples of circles and squares you see around your house or in nature. So they can actually go around the house and find things that are different shapes and add them to their tree map. The foundations lesson also has the daily warm-up. It has a foundations video. Then it asks your child to write some of the words onto a whiteboard. If you do not have a whiteboard at home, we sent home a sheet protector with a piece of cardstock placed inside of it. It had a 100 chart on the back side. This can be written on just like a whiteboard. So in the pencil boxes that came home, every student had an eraser and a dry erase marker. You can also have them do it on paper if you would prefer, but this way you're not having to waste a lot of paper. They're going to write down the word cap and write down the word cape, write down the word not and write down the word note. We don't need to see this. This is just something that they're going to do as practice. They can also make flashcards for their trick words for this unit. Comprehension. Ms. Clark did a wonderful lesson for all the first graders, reading a read aloud, and then she's got some things for the children to do. We want to keep your kids reading on their own at their own level, so they can go to Raz Kids at their convenience and read and listen to stories. Vocabulary, we always do a word of the day, but now that we're at home, we're going to try to shorten this and do a word of the week. And so they will be submitting a guess on Seesaw for word of the day. There is a video there, and then you will need to log into your child's Seesaw account and find this lesson. I made it so that the Seesaw lessons for this week are only available starting 7 a.m. on the day that it's due. And this is going to stop the kids from going through Seesaw and getting all the activities done in one sitting. We'd like you guys to try to space everything out. And in our science lesson, there's great videos on Pebble Go that the children can watch and they can log in on their own. Now this looks like a lot of work. It's amazing how much we do in one day with your kiddos. So I would not suggest doing all of this in one sitting. When we are at school, we usually do math in the morning and then we break for specials. And then we have a transition time where we use the bathroom and we get out a snack. Then we do our word of the day and then we do foundations. In between that, we sometimes do some movement. We move into our stations. So there is a lot of built-in breaks, a break time for the kids. So keep this in mind as you're looking at the day and maybe try to give yourself a schedule where you're doing chunks of work. You're not having them do everything in one sitting, finish up by 11 o'clock in the morning. It will get exhausting. The kids are going to get cranky and it's just not going to be an enjoyable experience. So I would suggest doing maybe 2 or 3 activities in the morning and then 2 or 3 activities in the afternoon after lunch. Thursday next week, it starts again with math, our foundations. There is a Seesaw activity. It will be available to the kids 7 a.m. on this day. They'll find this particular assignment and complete it. They can rainbow write their trick words. This can all be done in their word work journal that came home on the bag of extra materials that you picked up. Anything like that, we do not need to see. You don't need to take pictures of. It's just for their practice. The comprehension includes another read aloud. Vocabulary, they're going to continue working on their circle map for the word of the day. And then in science, they're continuing on with landforms. And the work on Friday, there's a song for math. There's Brain Pop Junior with the login information. And then you're going to submit that tree map on Seesaw on Friday. So when you see that bold highlight in yellow, that's where we're asking you to actually submit something. You will find a place in the activities for your child to take a picture and upload it. And then another foundations, writing your trick words in fancy letters. That can be cursive, curlicues, dot letters, whatever they want. And once again, this is just in their journals. We don't need you to snap a photo of it. And in comprehension, you will be submitting your tree map on Seesaw today on Friday. Reading, we'd like you to record yourself reading the book so that we can listen to your fluency on Friday. Vocabulary, you will submit your circle map on Seesaw. And in science, you'll go back to Pebble Go and learn about living in a desert. So this is our soft launch. Like I said, we will try to tweak things as we go. We would like some feedback from you. So I have set up a Zoom meeting on this Thursday night at 7 o'clock p.m. I will send out an agenda to kind of keep us on target, but I would like you to kind of write down or take notes of anything that you think is working great and anything that you think is needing to be tweaked a little. So I hope that you guys have a great week of learning. Good luck with everything. I miss you guys. We will start some live Zoom class meetings after spring break. And that way we can all get on together and get to see each other's faces. Miss you guys. Thanks a lot, parents. I'll see you at 7 o'clock this Thursday night.